Chapter 24. A swift dark shadow moved among the shadows. A looming black lump among the canvas recliners and the tables and the chairs. Quark paused briefly at the edge of the rooftop and peered into the night. He was medium height, slim and athletic in a black hooded sweatsuit. A black woolen ski mask was stretched across his face. He looked like Batman about to take a long flying leap. I watched as he stepped up smoothly to the ledge and then disappeared over it, black gloved hands clinging lightly to the ledge. The next thing I heard was the sound of his sneakers as he landed on the terrace, and the muted click-scratch as his key opened the door. I looked around quickly. Angie and the Fangs were so beautifully hidden that I couldn't even see them. Then I saw Chang. He was pacing back and forth on the television antenna, like a tightrope walker who performed without a net. I leapt to the ledge and began to do the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. The night split open with a thundering, shattering assault of rock and roll. An attack of heavy metal from the night table radio, disco from the living room, punk from the kitchen, and an outraged objection from the woman next door. "That does it, young fella! I'm calling the police!" I grinned. It was working. It was actually working. The sound effects told me what was happening below. Quark went into the bedroom and turned off the radio. Then he ran to the kitchen and turned off the radio, but just as he'd finished it, the radios blasted him again. This time he fled. This time I watched him as he jumped to the terrace rail and then chinned himself to the roof. I waited till his black-gloved hands hit the ledge, and then I landed on his hands. I bit, but I only got the taste of black leather and the odor of his rage. Besides, I'm no Rambo. I backed off and crouched. Quark came over the ledge. He was almost as terrific an acrobat as Chang. He chinned himself up and came over in a swift, neat, rapid-rolling somersault and rolled himself to his feet. That's when he got it. From 6 sides at once. Chang made a bomber dive off the antenna and landed on Quark's shoulder. Wang did a somersault and landed on his head. Sturm, Drang, and Angie hit his back, chest, and arms, while I scrambled around his sneakers and untied the laces. Meanwhile, Butch, Jane, and Oscar bit his legs. He hollered and cursed. Threw Chang from his shoulder, kicked Oscar in the shin. "Cover his eyes!" I yelled to Wang. Wang covered his eyes. Quark, still cursing, stumbled blindly around the roof. He bumped into furniture, boom, into a chair, crash into a table. Boom, crash, boom, crash, boom, crash, boom. By now, there were lights going on in all the windows. People started hollering, "What's going on?" And somewhere in the distance, a police siren wailed. Quark struggled desperately, attempting to get away, but his struggling didn't pay. He tripped on his shoelace, hit an umbrella pole, and knocked himself out. He was flat on the ground. At this point, a dozen of us landed on his stomach. The rock music thundered. The cop siren wailed. I noticed the Rumpelmeyer lying unhurt in a small bed of flowers. And there, against the riot, it played a minuet.